My friend, do you feel paralyzed by the belief that you must wait for perfect conditions? Or by the modern poison of imposter syndrome, the lie that your starting point disqualifies you? These are chains on your soul. In this address, I will show you how to break them and forge your own opportunity. Hear me now, for this is the central truth upon which all great lives are built. Your initial disadvantage is not a disqualification, it is a crucible. Adversity is not a curse to be lamented. It is a divine forge, shaping ordinary individuals into figures of formidable power. It is the north wind that lashes men into Vikings, while the soft south wind lulls them into useless dreams. Comfort can never bestow upon you the strength, the resilience, the sheer unshakable will that is hammered into your character upon the anvil of hardship. The world believes you are weakened by your struggle. I am here to tell you that you are being forged by it. Every obstacle is a hammer blow, making you stronger, sharper, and more resilient than those who have known only ease. Let me paint you a picture from Denmark. At a party of the privileged, a little girl, a child of the court, boasts of her high station. With pointed elbows and a dismissive air, she declares that those whose names end in sen, the common folk, can never amount to anything at all. Another child, the merchant's daughter, boasts of wealth. A third, the editor's daughter, boasts of influence. They build a wall of pedigree and station around themselves, a fortress of arrogance. Does this not sound familiar, my friend? Have you not felt the sting of this dismissal? The cold shoulder of an established in-group that judges you not by the fire in your soul, but by the name you carry or the poverty of your circumstance. This is the first test of greatness. But in the heart of that young boy, something extraordinary happened. The sting of their dismissal did not plant a seed of despair, but one of defiant resolve. He did not slink away in shame. Instead, a fire was lit. In that moment, he made a silent, sacred vow to himself. He would not ask for their approval, he would command their admiration. He understood, with a wisdom beyond his years, that his name was not a brand of shame, but a blank canvas upon which he could paint a masterpiece of character. He would answer their scorn not with words, but with works. The very wall they built to keep him out would become the foundation upon which he would build his monument of success. And so began the long years of silent, furious effort. While the children of privilege wasted their inheritance on fleeting pleasures, this boy invested every ounce of his energy into his craft. He toiled in obscurity, in a humble workshop, surrounded not by luxury but by dust and determination. Every strike of his chisel was a word in his defiant reply. Every drop of sweat was a down payment on his future glory. This period of quiet, relentless labor is the forgotten chapter in every great life. It is the time in the crucible, away from the world's eyes, where raw talent is forged into true mastery through the heat of persistence and the hammer of discipline. Now let us turn the page of time. Years later, those same privileged individuals, now grown, visit a magnificent house filled with treasures and works of breathtaking beauty. And who is its owner? The great sculptor Thorwaldsen, the very boy whose name ended in sen. He, who had nothing, created everything. His supposed limitation was the fuel for his ambition. He did not have the luxury of complacency. He had only the fire of his will, and with it, he sculpted a destiny far grander than any he could have inherited. The world's judgment is meaningless. Your inner drive is everything. Now, turn your eyes to the deaf boy Kitto, a pauper in a poorhouse with a drunken father. Society had already passed its sentence upon him. They saw him as a lost cause, a piece of human driftwood fit only for mending shoes. His deafness was a wall, his poverty a cage. The world looked upon him and saw only what was missing: hearing, wealth, opportunity. He was surrounded by the grim, gray walls of the workhouse, a place designed to extinguish hope. To any ordinary observer, his future was a closed book, a story already finished before it had even begun. This, my friends, is the very definition of disadvantage. But in the soul of this boy, adversity had kindled a ferocious fire of self-reliance. When others might have begged for charity, he demanded a chance, declaring, "There is no fear of my starving. We are in the midst of plenty." What genius! Where others saw destitution, he saw abundance. He spoke of subsisting on gum like the Hottentots, of warding off hunger with a simple ligature, of finding a bed in a haystack. This is not mere survival. This is the sixth sense that poverty bestows. It is the power to see resources where others see only ruin. It is the mindset that turns a barren wasteland into a field of opportunity. And what became of this deaf boy whom society had discarded? He became one of the greatest biblical scholars the world has ever known. His very first book was written within the grim walls of the workhouse itself. Think of it. While others with every advantage complained of poor lighting or lack of inspiration, this young man laid the foundation of a monumental life's work. He did not wait for the world to give him a library. He turned his own mind into one. He proves that limitations can provoke creativity. Your lack of resources is not an excuse, it is an invitation to become resourceful beyond measure. A brief word for those who know me, and for those we are meeting for the first time. I am Orison Swett Marden. The marvel of modern invention has carried my voice across the ages, for the principles of success and character are timeless. If this wisdom resonates with the truth in your own soul, signal your alliance with a like. To ensure you do not miss the next chapter in your own great development, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. The path to greatness is a continuous journey of learning and application, and I would be honored to be your guide. Let us now return to the great work of forging your own triumphant future, armed with these immutable truths. Now, let us bring this principle into your world. You, the entrepreneur, you have a brilliant idea, a vision that could change an industry, but you are paralyzed. You look at your meager bank account and then at the vast resources of your competitors. Fear of scarcity grips you. You tell yourself, I will start when I have more capital, or I will launch when the market is safer. My friend, you are waiting for a south wind that will only lull you into a dream of what might have been. Like Kitto, you must see the riches in your poverty. Your lack of capital forces you to be more innovative, more agile, and more connected to your customer than your bloated competitor could ever be. Your hunger is your greatest asset. And you, the software developer, the self-taught genius, you write elegant code, you solve complex problems, yet you feel like a fraud. You are surrounded by colleagues with degrees from prestigious universities, and you believe your non-traditional path is a mark of inferiority. You are Thorwaldsen, peeking through the crack in the door, believing your name ends in sen. This imposter syndrome is the modern echo of that Danish party. It is a lie you tell yourself. Your journey has forced you to learn with a passion and practicality that formal education often misses. You did not learn to pass a test. You learned to build, to create, to solve. That hard-won knowledge is more valuable than any piece of paper. Your path is not a weakness, it is your badge of honor. I see you, the artist, the writer. You have a vision burning in your soul, a story that demands to be told, a canvas that begs for your brush, but you halt your hand. You have been rejected by a gallery, ignored by a publisher, or criticized by the gatekeepers of your field. You feel the crushing weight of popular opinion that says your work is not valid without their approval. This external disapproval becomes a creative block, a prison for your genius. You start to believe their judgment is truth. But I ask you, was our great sculptor's work any less beautiful before the world acclaimed it? Your vision's worth is not determined by a committee. It is determined by the truth and passion you pour into it. And to you, the student, facing a mountain of debt and an ocean of competition, you look at the effortless success of those born into privilege and feel a sense of hopelessness. You believe the game is rigged, that your starting point disqualifies you from the grand prize. You see yourself as the pauper, while others are children of the court. My dear young friend, you possess a power they can never know. The power of hunger. Your struggle is your education. It is teaching you discipline, resilience, and a work ethic that will carry you far beyond those who have had everything handed to them. Every long night of study, every sacrifice made, is a deposit into the bank of character. You are not being left behind, you are being forged for leadership. So how do we begin this great work? How do we transform these noble principles into daily, life-altering action? We will now enter the forge of habits. Our first tool is for the overwhelmed soul, for the entrepreneur and student facing a mountain of tasks. It is called the one thing focus. Why is this so powerful? Because the human mind, for all its glory, achieves its greatest power when it is focused to a single point. Like a magnifying glass focusing the sun's rays to create fire. Spreading your energy across a dozen trivial tasks achieves nothing. But pouring your entire might into the one single action that matters most for a short time, that, my friend, is how you move mountains. It is an act of command over chaos. Here is how you wield this power. This is not a grand, time-consuming ritual. It is a micro-action, so simple there is no excuse for not performing it. Here is the CRR model, the cue, the moment you sit at your desk to begin your work. That is your trigger. The routine: do not check your messages. Do not open a dozen tabs. Take out a piece of paper and write down the one great ambition for the day. The one task that, if completed, would represent a true victory. The result: this is not merely writing, it is an act of supreme command. You are separating the vital from the trivial, and you are telling your mind, this is our target, all energy here. This simple act brings immediate clarity and a feeling of control. Now, project this forward. After just 1 week of this practice, you will notice a profound shift. The fog of indecision that once plagued your mornings will lift, replaced by a sharp clarity of purpose that guides every action. But more importantly, you are forging a new identity. With each day you perform this 2-minute action, you are making a powerful declaration. You are not just doing a task, you are becoming someone new. You are affirming, I am a person who commands my day. I am a person of focus and precision. I am the architect of my own results, not a victim of circumstance. This identity, my friend, is the true prize. It is the bedrock of all lasting success. Our second tool from the Forge is for the soul battling imposter syndrome, for the developer who doubts their own worth. It is the do what you said you would do pact. This is the antidote to self-doubt. Why? Because confidence is not a gift. It is a result. It is the reputation you have with yourself. Every time you break a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you erode that reputation. You teach your own subconscious that your word is meaningless. But when you consistently keep the promises you make to yourself, you build an unshakable foundation of self-trust. You prove to your own soul that you are reliable, capable, and worthy. The execution must be laughably simple. A micro-action is key. The cue, as you dress in the morning looking in the mirror. The routine, state one, infinitesimally small promise to yourself. Not I will conquer the world, but I will read 10 pages of a book today. Or I will take a 10-minute walk at lunch. It must be something you are 99% certain you can achieve. Then, and this is the vital part, you must do it. Check it off. Acknowledge the victory. The result, you get a small but potent dose of self-respect. You are reinforcing a positive feedback loop. You said you would do something, and you did it. This is the fundamental building block of character. To I and sage it out, and sure be. Practice this for just 1 month. 30 small promises made, 30 small promises kept. The transformation will be astonishing. The voice of the imposter will grow faint, replaced by a quiet, solid confidence. You will walk taller. You will speak with more conviction. Why? Because you are embodying a new identity. You are no longer just trying, you are doing. You are declaring to the universe and to your own soul, I am a person whose word is bond. I am reliable. I am a person who honors my commitments, especially the sacred commitments I make to myself. This self-wrought integrity is a suit of armor that no external judgment can ever pierce. Third in our forge is a habit for the creator, the artist, the innovator, anyone paralyzed by the fear of imperfection or rejection. It is the mistake as a lesson reframe. Why does this work? Because fear of failure is the assassin of creativity. By systematically reframing every mistake, not as a catastrophic failure, but as a valuable piece of data, you neutralize the fear. You are not failing, you are learning. You are not being defeated, you are gathering intelligence for your next, more effective attempt. This simple mental shift turns a field of battle into a laboratory of success, where every experiment, regardless of outcome, moves you closer to your goal. Here is the micro-action for this mental alchemy. The cue, the very instant you feel that sinking feeling of having made a mistake, a rejected proposal, a flawed line of code, a poorly written paragraph. That feeling is your trigger. The routine, do not wallow in despair. Immediately, open a dedicated journal, your book of lessons, and at the top of a new page, write the question, what did this teach me? Then, write down at least one clear lesson. This approach does not work. I need to communicate more clearly. The market is not ready for this feature yet. The result, you interrupt the emotional spiral of failure and engage the analytical part of your brain. You transform a moment of pain to a moment of power. After a month of this practice, your entire relationship with your work will be transformed. You will become creatively fearless. The prospect of being wrong will no longer hold any terror for you you will know that being wrong is simply a step toward being right. You are forging a new, powerful identity. You are not a fragile artist hoping for a perfect outcome. You are declaring, I am a scientist of success. I am a relentless experimenter. Every setback is merely data, every failure a priceless lesson that brings me closer to breakthrough. With this identity, you become unstoppable, for you have learned how to turn the very poison of failure into the potent fuel of your own advancement. And so, my friend, we come to the close of our time together, but to the grand opening of your new life. The tone of the forge now softens to a warm glow. You have seen how the blackest soils of disadvantage can grow the fairest flowers of achievement. You have seen how the cold north wind of adversity forges Vikings, not victims. Within you now are the stories of Thorwaldsen and of Kitto, not as mere tales, but as living proof of your own boundless potential. You hold the tools in your hand, the habit of focus, the pact of self-trust, and the alchemy of the reframe. The forge is ready. Your magnificent destiny awaits its architect. Go forth then, and build the life that you were meant to live. Apply these habits with diligence and with faith in the power that resides within you. I wish you all the success, all the character, and all the triumphant joy that you so richly deserve. If this message has served as a lamp for your own path, consider it a torch. Do not hide its light, pass it on. Share this with another striving soul who may be sitting in the darkness of doubt, waiting for a spark of hope. Be the one who delivers it. Thank you for lending me your time. Now, go and claim your victory. It is your birthright.